Minecraft Spring to Life update has been out for a little over a month now, and your boy's been hard at work looking for some brand new resource packs for you guys to use in this new update. So today we'll be talking about over 20 of them that are compatible with 1.21.5, and this might be my favorite resource pack showcase yet, as there are a ton of packs in here that I'll be using for the foreseeable future. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, and let's jump into this. To kick things off, I want to talk about a resource pack that is one of my favorites in recent memory. Now, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know that I don't really play Bedrock Edition, but I do enjoy some of the things that come from it, like actions and stuff, for example, which completely livens up your world and makes things look very nice. Now, one of the things that I love about it is specifically how it handles enchanted tools, because the enchanted tools in that pack look really cool. They're really out there and kind of in your face, which I know that not everybody would like, but for me, I love it. So with the glowing enchanted tools resource pack, we can bring something like that on over to Java Edition. Now, it's not an exact one-to-one recreation. I guess you could probably say that's, a little bit stealing, but as you can see, I mean, this is heavily inspired by the enchantment glow from actions and stuff, and this actually will apply to a lot of different things. So as we can see here is the enchanted golden apple. Here is a diamond tool to kind of contrast with the netherite that we have. This will also work on enchanted books. This will work on, of course, any kind of tool. So here's a look at the iron one, and bows, crossbows, enchanted flint and steel, all that kind of stuff. It'll work on all of that. And I really like this pack, so much so that I included it in my newest update for the Vanilla Perfected mod pack. And yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. This is one that I think is super cool for the Java Edition community, and one that I'll probably be using going forward. We may be caught in a sandstorm in the middle of the night, but the show must go on. The next resource pack I want to talk about is actually one that utilizes some of the new tech that Mojang has developed for resource packs to basically make resource packs a little bit more complex and let people do more with them. This pack is called Enchanted Books Recovered. Now, I have shown resource packs on this channel before that show off newly textured enchanted books. So as you guys can see, we have the Creeper book up here. Turns out that it is blast protection. We have an experience book right here, which of course means that it is mending. We have one with some vines and some thorns on them, so of course it's going to be thorns. We have a skulk book, which is swift sneak, etc. You can even see that some of these are animated as well. I've covered some of these on the channel before, and the problem with some of them is that you needed to use a mod, I believe it was called CIT Resewn, or you needed to use Optifine for them to be able to work. But now, with the new changes that Mojang have made with resource packs, you can actually just slap this in the vanilla game and it'll work just fine. And I think these textures are absolutely fantastic. I'm a very big fan of them. If you were curious, here's an image that will showcase exactly how an enchanted book with multiple enchantments on it will appear. So they're kind of ranked in order. So if you are curious what this enchanted book is, you can see that density is at the top of the image, which means density is going to show as the actual book itself, but it will have other enchantments on it. But I do think that this is a fantastic addition to your Minecraft mod pack if you are playing and you want to make enchanted books a little bit better. Moving on over to the next resource pack, this is one that I use literally every single day, and it is called Animated Totem of Undying. Now, if you guys use Vanilla Perfected, especially the more recent versions, then you guys definitely don't have to worry about downloading this one because it's already present. But essentially what the Animated Totem of Undying does is it makes the Totem of Undying blink periodically. I've gotten so many comments over the past year talking about like, oh, is Totem blinked? Like, what's going on with that? Yada, yada, yada. And this is basically why. I've been using Animated Totem of Undying packs for a very long time. This one is pretty good though, because it does come with a mini version. So if you guys don't like that the totem takes up a bunch of space on the left side of your screen, then you of course can install the one that makes it a bit tinier. But yeah, I wear a totem all the time because, I don't want to die. But I do like the little animation that comes with it. It makes it a lot less boring. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a lot of debate whenever leaf litter first got added to the game, as a lot of people thought that the new brown coloring on the bottom of the floors of forest and whatnot made it look a little too messy and jumbled. Well, this resource pack, called Leaf Litter Recolor, can perhaps help remedy that for a lot of you. Now, the reason that I like this pack is, of course, it's making the leaves on the ground look like fresh piles of leaves instead of leaves that have sat there for a very long time. And this would coincide with the fact that with the new update, we have falling leaf particles, and as they are falling off of these leaf blocks, they're not brown. Which would make perfect sense if you are to use this pack, as all of these leaves are fresh leaves instead of leaves that have sat there for a while and browned. Now, if the resource pack creator is watching this video, which, hi, I like your work, I do have one bit of criticism for this pack. And that is, if you're in a wooded badlands biome such as this, the leaf color looks a little bit off, especially considering that these leaves in this biome are already brown. So it doesn't really make sense to me that the leaf litter in this biome is kind of like a yellowish green. I feel like this is the area of the game that should retain the base brown color that we find in the vanilla game. But aside from that, I do think that this resource pack is really good. Leaf litter has never really bothered me too much, so I'm probably not going to use this personally. But for those of you guys that don't like all of the brown coloring on the just regular foresty and birch floors, then this resource pack will definitely be your go-to. Up next, I haven't really had the chance to talk about this just yet, but I want to talk about some of the Vanilla Tweaks resource pack additions, which is going to amount to around 10 plus. So there's a lot of really cool stuff. By the way, little Twitter plug at @DemonJoeTV on Twitter if you guys care. But we're going to go and head on over to the Vanilla Tweaks Twitter account because they actually compiled this for us, and I think a lot of these are fantastic. So I had actually covered previously on the channel a desaturated resin resource pack. Vanilla Tweaks now has their own version of it, so resin doesn't look quite as outlandishly orange. This one right here, the unique painting items, is going to make all the painting items display the artwork, and this is specifically really good for creative mode. This one right here is really good if you are an axolotl breeder, as of course you can see the independent colors of each axolotl in a bucket. We also have the no falling leaf particles, so if that's for some reason something that bothers you, you can turn it off. We have the pale garden panorama if you want to go back to that. We have the old fireflies, which I think is something that a lot of people may find interesting if you would prefer it to look like how it did in the initial reveal. We have the retro spawn eggs. We have the snoutless pigs and cows. We also have retro sheep. So if you're somebody that doesn't like the bedrock parody, then I don't know who wouldn't, but if you don't like it, of course you can turn it off. You have the A Minecraft Movie logo, which I think looks really funny. You have the Minecraft Earth woolly cow retexture for the cold cow, which is really cool, as well as the Techno Blade pig. So a lot of really cool stuff coming out of Vanilla Tweaks. If you guys are Vanilla Tweaks users, maybe you want to update your own version of the pack with some of these. And yeah, I figured it was worth a mention. Earlier we talked about actions and stuff and went over the glowing enchantment tools resource pack. Well, next up, I also want to talk about another actions and stuff inspired pack, and this one is called Fresh Food. And as you can see, we have a bunch of different 3D models for food in the game, but the cool thing about this pack is it comes with its own custom eating animations. Now, I did not mean to do that. Now, if you're not a big fan of the 3D models being in your inventory, that's okay. There's actually a version of this that you can download on Modrinth that in the hotbar and in your inventory, it won't show the models. I just did for the sake of, you know, just showcasing things. But the eating animations on this pack is truly what sells it. I mean, we've had 3D food resource packs in the past, but the fact that we can eat and have actual animations associated with them is so cool. I mean, this is one of the coolest food related resource packs I've seen in a minute, and I'm a very big fan of it. And it just makes me think of actions and stuff. Like, for example, when we take the salmon and we eat it, you can see we're literally eating it off the bone. I mean, it's so fantastic. We can go and, you know, eat our way to the core of the apple. And I heard that actually, so currently I'm using not enough animations, which is why I'm bringing the food up to my face. I did hear that the creator of this pack is working on Hold My Items compatibility. If you guys don't know what that mod is, I covered it in my last video. And yeah, Fresh Food is so cool. Definitely got to download this pack if you want 3D food with the eating animations. Hello and welcome to my little wolf island that I've created for myself as we talk about our next resource pack known as Fabich Wolf Armor. And essentially what this resource pack does is it makes the wolf armor look a little bit better and look like it provides a bit more protection for your wolves. So let me go ahead and head on over to this chest right here, and we have all of the different colors for wolf armor, or at least, you know, a decent amount of them. So we're gonna go and throw them into the hotbar, and I'll go ahead and showcase you guys what these look like. So as you can see, whenever I equip our wolf with the wolf armor, you'll see it actually comes with a masked helmet, as well as a lot more emphasis on the actual color of the armor. To show you guys what I mean, here's a little bit of a before and after of what this resource pack looks like on and off, and as you'll see, there's not as much armadillo skin present on the actual armor with this resource pack on. So dependent on the color of the armor that you put on your wolf, you're going to see a lot more of that color. And seeing as wolf armor, the way that it works is that the wolf can take absolutely 0 damage until the armor is broken. It kind of makes sense to include a little bit of a masked helmet kind of design with the wolf as well, to completely protect them from damage, both visually and of course, as we know, mechanically. So I really do like this pack a lot. It makes the wolf armor make a little bit more sense, and I think it looks wonderful. For our next resource pack, I want to talk about one that is creative centric, and that is the magical debug stick. Now, if you guys somehow don't know what the debug stick is because you probably don't play creative that much, if you press escape, click options, and then go to controls, there's actually a tab in here called operator items tab. And what this does is it unlocks a new area of the creative menu that gives you things like special paintings, gives you some of these test blocks and barrier blocks and light blocks, everything in between, but you also have the debug stick, and a lot of people use the debug stick when building to create some cool things. As you can see, if I click on this fence post right here, I can actually make it face as though it's touching blocks even when it's not, which is pretty cool. I can also do the same thing with this chest by kind of turning it in whatever direction I want, or do some funky things with this door and even turn grass into snowy grass simply just by clicking it. So there's a lot of cool building things that you can do whenever it comes to the debug stick. And if you've ever wanted to make it look, you know, like a non-enchanted stick and something that kind of looks like a little magical staff, I thought that this resource pack was really cool, and I've never really seen a resource pack do this before. You already know that a Demon Joe resource pack showcase video can't be complete without a creeper resource pack, because you guys know that I don't really care about the vanilla creeper. Well, this one is kind of vanilla in some ways. It's called the Creeper from a Minecraft Movie resource pack. And if you guys don't remember what the creeper looks like, here's what it looks like. As you can see, it's kind of grassy and leafy and has a huge hollow creeper face, as well as those massive toes, so the freaky toes. And this one kind of nails that to a T. As you can see, it has these little leaf thingies kind of sticking out off of it and kind of giving it a little bit of a bushy feel. It's definitely thicker and bigger than the traditional creeper. And of course, I mean, I'm hung up on the toes, man. I'm hung up on the toes because they look so creepy in the movie. They look so weird and abnormal in the resource pack. But of course, the resource pack is just staying true to the movie design. If you guys want to see what it looks like side by side, of course, here is the comparison from the regular creeper to this one. And I do think that this one is a pretty interesting take on the creeper design. Of course, this is also going to change the actual creeper head whenever you have the mob head or you obtain it. And of course, if you were to equip the mob head, if I go and slap it up here, you can see that it's actually hollow, just like it is in the movie. You can see my face inside of the creeper head. So definitely really cool. I really do like this pack. I think it is very, very interesting, very creative. And yeah, little creeper resource pack for you guys. For those of you guys that don't stay up to date with the news cycle in Minecraft, you may not know that Wandering Traders actually got updated to be a bit more useful in terms of the player now being able to sell them items and Wandering Traders giving them more items, etc, etc. Well, I figured this makes the perfect time to showcase a new resource pack called Biomes Wandering Traders. And as you might imagine, this is actually going to bring new textures for the Wandering Traders depending on what biome they spawn in. Of course, here we have the winter biome Wandering Trader. I didn't know that firefly bushes could spawn here. Anyways, you also have a mushroom fields Wandering Trader, surprisingly enough. And you guys probably don't need me to go through all of the biomes in the game because a lot of these designs are inspired by the villager ones, but one of my favorites is actually a wandering trader that spawns on the beach can spawn as one of these guys, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Of course, seeing these guys in the wild is going to be incredibly rare because I imagine not many people are on beach biomes, but they do have a chance to spawn as this beach variant whenever you are on one, and I think it looks so cool. Up next, we have ourselves a resource pack that brings a fresh take to something in the game. And this resource pack is known as Fresh Music Discs. And what it does is it retextures the music discs to be 3D models. For instance, we can take Chirp right here, and as you can see when it's in my hands, it is a 3D model. If we throw it on the ground, it will rotate in a 3D plane. It's not just going to be kind of like a 2D sprite, kind of like how it is in the base game. And it kind of looks like it's more apt to fit in the jukebox this way, at least in my opinion. Now, if you are using a mod like the fast item frames, you can, of course, it is going to look good in the vanilla game, but you can, of course, you know, put these on the walls to display them and then right click the item frame to kind of make it, you know, just by itself, not actually on an item frame. And if we go and take a couple more of these, you know, we can go over here, go over to the table, throw them on the table, and then right click the item frame so it just kind of sits there. Looks like a little fragment of a disc just standing on it or sitting on a table, which looks nice. We can do the same thing with this one. And I just think that these textures look really nice, and it looks really cool if you are to pair it with another mod to use them in a little bit of a better means to display them. But yeah, Fresh Music Disc, kind of a small one, but if you are a music disc collector, because there are just so many in the game, then you'll probably love this one. I know I've talked quite a bit about a lot of different actions and stuff style resource packs, but I just can't help it. It's such a good resource pack, which is why I want to talk about another one here for Java Edition, which is called Actually 3D Stuff. Now, if you guys are familiar with the Hold My Items mod, you guys would know that I've covered it a few times here on the channel. Actually, I think I've only covered it once, but I covered it in my last video, and it's basically like the first-person animations of actions and stuff, but in Java Edition. Well, there's a resource pack that is built with this in mind called Actually 3D Stuff, and it's very similar to a lot of the 3D models that are found inside of actions and stuff. So as you can see here, this is a 3D rocket. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you can use this pack without Hold My Items, but it is heavily encouraged that you do so. This is the book and quill, as you can see here. We have the saddle. We have a diamond pickaxe, which I don't know how much I'm really driving with the 3D tools. I feel like the tools should stay relatively the same, but you know, maybe the owner of this pack sees this video and makes a fork of this resource pack to bring vanilla tools back. But we also have the bundle, we have the shears right here, we have the flint and steel, the brush, as well as the name tag. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of that. We'll go and grab a whole brand new row of items to showcase. So as you can see here, we have the diamond, we have the egg, which goes hard with the new throwing animation. We have the fire charge. We have the Totem of Undying, which I really like, is one of my favorite textures from actions and stuff because it's kind of see-through, so it doesn't take up your whole left side of the screen when you're using it. We also have the sword, which, you know, I'm not too big of a hater on the sword texture. Kind of makes me think of Adventure Time. We also have the netherite axe here. We have the wind charge, which I kind of wish had a little bit of an animation to it while it's in your hand. We also have the compass, which looks pretty nice, as well as the Eye of Ender, which they're going that way. And as you can see, they do retain their 3D look to it even after you throw them. And so now we can go ahead and grab these last few. So we have the Echo Shard here, the Prismarine Shard, the Heart of the Sea, Bone Meal, which I think looks really good. We have coal, we have a gold ingot bar, Amethyst Shard, Blaze Rod, as well as Slime Ball. So a lot of really cool stuff going on with this resource pack. To my knowledge, it's only in alpha, so definitely keep an eye out for it because these updates that are coming out for it are pretty great. It feels like it's been far too long since I've gone over an armor resource pack, so let's go ahead and fix that and talk about Armory Conglomery. Now, what this pack does is, as you'd imagine, it retextures a lot of the armor in the game, and I love the way that they went about doing this because almost all of these, aside from Diamond and Netherite, are completely unique. So over here we have the leather armor, which is of course the armor that's going to protect you the least, and of course you can tell by basically all these other armors having something that's going to protect your hands or your forearms, and this you just kind of have the bare arms right here. So with chainmail you have like these little leather gloves right here, a pretty basic helmet. With iron, you have these braces around your arms, and you also have a more modern looking helmet, you know, something more vanilla to Minecraft. Over here with the gold, as you can see, we have slightly different textured stuff here around the chest plate. And for diamond and netherite, it kind of goes with the idea that netherite is something that, you know, whenever you upgrade to netherite, you use diamond stuff to do so, and you kind of like coat the diamonds in netherite. I guess that's kind of the idea here. And as you'll notice, this is like the pristine armor. It has the little vent here that goes over your face, which unfortunately can't go over your face. I really wish that it could, but I think all of these armors look fantastic. So if you're somebody that likes these kind of more out there fantasy armor sets, then you'll love this pack. This might be the very first time that I've done this, but now I want to recommend a resource pack that will change the texture of the Ender Dragon. And this resource pack is called Tender Dragon. Now, personally, I think the regular Ender Dragon texture is fantastic. However, if you are going for a more realistic inspired Minecraft experience that's a lot more atmospheric, has a little bit more realism in it, of course you're probably using shaders, then maybe you would like an Ender Dragon that looks a little bit more menacing and has a little bit more detail to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over here and I'm just going to go ahead and summon an Ender Dragon with no AI, which it is going to freak out. Okay, maybe I should go farther away. Actually, let me go in the overworld. Okay, here we are. Let's go ahead and spawn in the Ender Dragon, and you know, he's just gonna do his own thing, I guess. We're just gonna deal with it. But this is a closer look at the Ender Dragon, at least in circular form. And I think this resource pack does a pretty good job to bring some detail to this mob. Again, not exactly something that I personally would use, but if you're somebody that is using maybe Faithful, for example, a more high resolution texture pack, then hey, maybe you'd like to throw this on and make the Ender Dragon look a little bit better for your boss fight. And ladies and gentlemen, for our final packs of the video, I want to just go ahead and bundle all of these together, similarly to when I did the vanilla tweaks and I did like 10 plus of them together, because all of these are related. We have the Bushy Grass pack, we have the Bushy Leaf Litter pack, as well as the Bushier Bushes pack, and I'm sure you can see why I paired them together. And what this is going to do is it's going to make the vegetation in your world a bit more lively. As you can see with the grass blocks, they actually look a little bit more, you know, grassy. They look a little bit more well put together. With the leaf litter, as you can see, some of these leaves are kind of sticking up, so they're not all perfectly just on the floor. And sometimes whenever you put them all together, just as a pile of leaves, they look a little bit better, and they're just not, you know, completely flat on the floor. But one of my favorite packs from all of these is actually the Bushier Bushes. And what it does is it simply just turns the new bush block into like these little hedges, which look fantastic. But not only just them, if you actually plant sweet berries and you bone meal it up, you can get full-on sweet berry bushes that are very similar to these. So I think whenever you combine all of these together, you can kind of get a little bit more of a vegetative feel in Minecraft, and things just come together a little bit more out in the wild as you're looking at nature. So really big fan of all of these packs. I think with my Vanilla Perfected mod pack, I'll probably install Bushier Bushes whenever I get to the full release of 1.21.5. It just looks so good, and I'm a very big fan of it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Those are 20 plus resource packs, of course, if you include all the vanilla tweaks changes for Minecraft 1.21.5. Let me know which of these was your favorite pack in the comments below, and as I said earlier, you can find the links to all of these in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.